What is up, everybody? Solomon here. Super excited to be with you today, tackling all things crypto and Web3 through Genfinity, through myself. Big breaking news coming out today. SkuX, which is the digital payments firm utilizing the Hedera network, has announced that it has signed an agreement with Visa to accelerate digital transformation for select merchants and consumer packaged goods companies leveraging SkuX's payment-based solutions. This is pretty massive. There is some pretext and background here. We're going to get into a few different things today, but mainly I wanted to focus on this announcement. So if you pay attention, SkuX has been building on Hedera for some time. I'll show you here in a second. We had an opportunity to interview Bobby Tinsley from SkuX. I think it was late last year, or maybe the very beginning of this year, because they had ran a proof of concept with the owner of a lot of different big brands, which is Mondelez, which you also see here in a second, for multiple kind of different use cases. But this all kind of ties together here. So this is SkuX. SkuX leverages, obviously, Hedera, announcing it has signed an agreement with Visa to accelerate digital transformation for select merchants and consumer packaged goods companies that leverage SkuX's payment-based solutions. All right, this was February 14th. We did an interview with SkuX, and this was on the same day that Mondelez joined the Hedera Governing Council. I'll maybe get into the full article here in a second as well, but some of the notable brands that Mondelez owned or owns: Oreo, Ritz Crackers, Cadbury, Toblerone. There's kind of a lot here. But I did an interview with Bobby, and he kind of alluded to a couple of different things where, these kind of proof of concepts are a little bit of a foot in the door type aspect. The cutting edge system built on Hedera is the first real world. This is the Mondelez SkuX stuff. Real world distributed ledger technology experience for tracking of consumer packaged goods supply chains and digital offers. Notably, Mondelez and SkuX have reached beyond a basic proof of concept to actualize a digital experience for their customers, making snacking experiences smoother and more transparent. Web3 and DLT are helping them connect with you in many ways, mainly by streamlining operations while minimizing their environmental footprint. Enables branded digital payments, tools to create and deliver instant rewards, rebates, promotions directly to mobile devices. Increases engagement and loyalty by providing personalized offers and tracking redemption data. SkuX helps brands connect with their consumers more effectively and improves efficiency and transparency. Their platform also automates many payment processes and provides clear data insights for both brands and merchants. For the consumers, they provide flexibility and convenience. Users can redeem and receive digital offers instantly on their mobile devices anywhere that tap to pay is accepted. They offer a variety of use cases, from promotions and rewards to reimbursements and donations. SkuX also covers a wide range of payment scenarios, and they improve trust and satisfaction through their platform's transparency and security features. All right, that's a lot. This is Mondelez. This is SkuX. Mondelez joined the Hedera Governing Council back in February, and they obviously leverage SkuX. This is today. SkuX and Visa, enabling seamless digital payment consumer experiences for merchants and consumer packaged goods companies. Wonder who that would be. Obviously, Mondelez, I would assume there's a relationship here. Mondelez, obviously a huge CPG company. We can see the brands associated with Mondelez as well. I'm going to read this press release today, though. It's always interesting how this stuff kind of piggybacks on top of each other. SkuX, a leader in digital instant payments innovation, today announced its sign-on agreement with Visa, a world leader in digital payments. The agreement will accelerate digital transformation for select merchants and consumer packaged goods companies that leverage SkuX's payment-based offers solutions. Mondelez is obviously one of those. Supporting a variety of client use cases, from consumer acquisition to loyalty to consumer care and recovery, while ensuring a seamless end-to-end experience. SkuX is revolutionizing the consumer offer industry, unlocking billions of dollars in value currently being lost to fraud and inefficiency. So one thing I remember uniquely when I talked to Bobby from SkuX is the coupon industry. He's not a fan of the term, digital coupons. I think he just says digital point of sale and the things you can tie into it, if I remember correctly. But there's apparently a lot of fraud in the coupon industry. And obviously digitizing that kind of mitigates a lot of that fraud. SkuX is rapidly advancing the outdated physical to digital process of checks, coupons, rebates, and promotional offers, solving long-term industry challenges for merchants, consumer brands, loyalty platforms, travel companies, healthcare providers, and beyond. The SkuX platform is being leveraged by several of the world's leading consumer packaged goods brands. Benchmarked results have seen up to 85% reductions in paper checks, with digital delivery of consumer payments provided in near real time as opposed to days or weeks with physical offers, dramatically reducing cost, effort, and fraud. The SkuX digital payments platform is designed to enable seamless virtual payments to consumers anytime, anywhere, regardless of the business objective. It allows companies to engage directly with their customers by delivering a client-branded real-time Visa digital payment to a mobile device. Built on a highly sophisticated modern platform architecture, SkuX Digital Payments leverages Hedera's leading enterprise distributed ledger technology to track the issuance and redemption of payments, providing unparalleled transparency and reporting. Let me read that again. SkuX allows companies to engage directly with their customers by delivering a client-branded real-time Visa digital payment to a mobile device. Built on a highly sophisticated modern platform architecture, SkuX Digital Payments leverages Hedera's leading enterprise distributed ledger technology to track the issuance and redemption of payments, providing unparalleled transparency and reporting. The Visa and SkuX agreement will enable Visa clients the opportunity to engage directly with SkuX, driving value creation among business-to-business and business-to-consumer payment flows for merchants and manufacturers. This will help merchants drive customer acquisition, digitize customer care and recovery, and target product-level spend. SkuX complements and enhances Visa's services to enable our mutual customers to stay at the forefront of innovation and interconnect the customer experience from waving hello to when they actually make a purchase. Together, the interconnected solution will drive client and customer value upstream to deliver a low-friction, more personalized commerce experience. And you've got a quote here from Bobby Tinsley, the same guy that we interviewed. SkuX is privileged to announce our work with Visa as we expand upon what is already shaping up to be an incredible year of growth in 2024. Visa clients looking to learn more about SkuX and the innovative payment solutions the companies offer can go here. This is SkuX and Visa revolutionizing digital payments, leveraging SkuX's payment-based offer solutions, catering to a wide spectrum of client needs, a seamless end-to-end experience, tackling industry challenges, increase in store traffic sales measurement, driving customer acquisition, operational efficiency. So apparently, annually there's $225 billion in CPG spend or promotion spend, $815 million in annual CPG rebate spend, $1.4 billion in CPG print coupons annually, $370 million in CPG digital coupons. Say goodbye to manual methods for coupons, vouchers, and gift cards. Oh, look, yeah, we've got the Hedera logo right there. So transaction speed, transparency, traceability, and scalability. They leverage Hedera, leaderless proof of stake. Yep. Here's a case study. It's a beer brand here, driving long-term loyalty. If you guys are interested in listening to this interview we did with Bobby Tinsley from SkuX, it is a little bit longer. I was going to kind of sit here and listen to the whole thing with you guys. I will link this in the video here, but this was on February 14th. There is a lot that they get into here. I think I even mention, some of the aspects of, these proof of concepts with somebody like a Mondelez with consumer packaged goods. I mean, leading into like actual leveraging of technology and, almost having a benchmark or a track record for future types of relationships. Like I'm assuming the Visa relationship. You would imagine that when you have a proof of concept, assuming it's successful, and then you see certain things surrounding it, that gives leverage to open up the door towards more relationships. I mean, that's normally the natural progression of things there. So here you can see it on payments.com as well. For those that aren't aware, Visa obviously huge. I'm not sure exactly how much goes into. I mean, you saw the numbers on the SkuX website. I don't know how much of that runs through Visa or not, but Visa processes 258 billion transactions annually. about 707 million transactions daily. Currently about 4.1 billion Visa-linked cards in circulation worldwide. Pretty massive announcement there. Again, if you guys are just joining, Visa and SkuX. SkuX obviously leverages Hedera. Pretty cool stuff. So, yeah, and we were supposed to do a space today with the U.S. Department of the Treasury. That's going to get postponed. You can go to @GenfinityIO on Twitter. But this is for essentially this is like small business innovation. This is we're going to be discussing kind of this ties into blockchain and DLT. This $75 million SSBCI Investing in American Small Business Opportunity Program, which is funded by the American Rescue Plan to help small business owners and entrepreneurs across the country access the capital that they need to grow and succeed. There's areas here. We're going to be interviewing Miss Melissa, or she likes to go by Lisa Oliva. She is at the Small Business Innovation portion of the United States Department of the Treasury. She's going to be talking about this grant here, and there are areas where they're basically exploring like initiatives within utilizing DAOs, like decentralized autonomous organizations. So I'm sure you guys have heard the word DAO, for distributing disaster relief funding with like, I think that they have 12 or 13 grantees right now, but then also getting into this grant initiative for small and underserved businesses in the United States. People building in blockchain certainly have the opportunity to fill out a grant for some of this funding. So this should be kind of a really cool initiative. This ties into some of the infrastructure stuff that Constellation is doing with National DigiFoundry and NDF, which is a National Science Foundation grant to set up kind of a DAO that has government, a lot of Fortune 500, but there's some government entities involved as well. So you think of the Department of the Treasury and NASA and Space Force and IBM, all kind of looking into educational aspects, DAO aspects, tokenization aspects. There's all sorts of working groups. So I'm looking forward to this space in the future as well. I think that we ran into a little bit of red tape as far as getting the final bless off to bring Miss Oliva on, but I do hear that it's still going to be going. It's just a little bit of a delay. And then we did see yesterday, this was kind of the DREC announcement that I'm sure a lot of you guys saw. What was it, Peersist? The EVM bridge stuff, the EVM Evmos stuff. Extremely excited to announce what we've been working on in the past year. Ripple and Peersist are developing an Ethereum virtual machine sidechain for the XRP ledger. In DevNet, utilizing Evmos. And I'm probably pronouncing Evmos wrong. Why is this huge? And then they get into liquidity. XRPL has 27 billion USD market cap that will connect to the interchain, is what they're calling it, over IBC. Funding, first, there's going to be $5 million in USD grants on the XRPL EVM sidechain. The XRP community can tap into any Cosmos app. So this ties obviously into the Cosmos ecosystem here as well. And then you've got the other end of the spectrum here, XRPL Labs, which was kind of championing for smart contracts and hooks on the main XRP ledger. Now you've got Visa and his team still supporting infrastructure for both. But Zahao, I think that there's a space coming up here. I think it's in the next week. Always love to hear Visa's thoughts on this space, and just interesting to see kind of some of the moves being made. I think kind of sitting back at a bird's eye view, if you look at the community right now, in the XRP community, there's a lot of different mindsets going a lot of different ways about a lot of different things on where the issues are and what's going to, drive adoption and all the other questions that, at the end of the day, probably should have been asked a couple of years ago. I think from my opinion, and who knows, I'm probably wrong. I think there's a lot of really good builders. I think it's a cultural thing. I think that If you look at other networks, there's a lot of cool stuff built, just like there's a lot of cool stuff built on the XRPL. But I think the idea that a small amount of investment is going to make you a millionaire, or whatever the narratives are, does not necessarily incentivize people or educate people in the way where they want to actually go out there and explore the ecosystem, explore what people are building, explore the projects. There's certainly other issues that tie into it. But I think the other issues that tie into it, like you can go to any ecosystem in crypto and there's always going to be complaints about how grant governing bodies delve out grants, or there's always going to be complaints about X, Y, and Z. I mean, that's not a XRP Ledger unique thing by any means. But if you look at the cultural thing, I think complaining about, and it's interesting. So I'm certainly not saying to go into like kind of this meme coin or PFP coin culture or whatever, but you got to look at other ecosystems, and actually it's not that difficult to understand what's going on, which drives adoption. I mean, nobody's buying Ethereum expecting Ethereum to go to $500,000 overnight or $5 million overnight. People buy Ethereum because they want access to what they can participate in within the Ethereum ecosystem. It's not rocket science. So at the end of the day, it'll be interesting to watch. There are a lot of really cool teams building a lot of cool stuff on the XRP Ledger. There's a lot of cool teams building a lot of cool stuff in every ecosystem. It'll be cool to watch what happens on Zahao. But if you really want, stuff to be adopted, start using the stuff that people are building. What's the incentive for people to build things if nobody uses it? So anyways, Department of the Treasury next week, Hedera, Visa, SkuX. We've been putting out some like really, if you guys are interested in any of these ecosystems, obviously not financial advice. Genfinity has, media partnerships with a lot of layer ones and some of these ecosystems. So we've been putting out some pretty long threads. I know big topic is like the CBDC stuff. I put out a pretty decent thread today on Aleph Zero. Aleph Zero is a layer one, obviously. Privacy enhancing technology. They actually sit right up there as gold members with Ripple along the Digital Euro Association. I think the programmable privacy stuff is really, even if you're not interested from in a coin or a network, I think paying attention to what happens with privacy as far as central bank digital currency and stablecoin initiatives is going to be massively important, because if we aren't paying attention to it, do you think the regulators are going to be paying attention to it? Do you think that they are kind of to an extent, but what do you think they can get across the line if they don't see red flags being raised up by, the citizens out here? My phone's ringing, I apologize. But really long thread on that. And we've been doing just a ton of work, so I apologize for not doing these videos as much. I did a really interesting interview with this guy, CTO of Brainstem's. Brainstem's coming out of it was Alliance Block, but the Nexera ecosystem, so not financial advice, obviously. We do have a media relationship with Nexera. Don't have a direct media relationship with Brainstems, but trying to interview as many people across these ecosystems as possible. This guy is really smart, though. Let me see if I can share with you for a second. It's like 43 minutes long.
Very small.
And we get into a lot of stuff here. What's really cool, I think, is we're finally, after like years, starting to see kind of this intersection of artificial, like not just artificial intelligence, but like leveraging DLT, leveraging blockchain in a way that actually affects business, like real world businesses, not just like invented business models that we come up with or that we hear, being kind of invented to solve a problem that might not exist. I think we're finally at that point with crypto and blockchain and DLT where you're seeing like legitimate real world businesses being affected by the technology. And that will start, like, and you can see it right there through the Mondelez, Hedera, the Visa thing. You're seeing it across the board. It's not just one ecosystem. That stuff happens all the time. I'm sure it's happening all the time with some of the stuff Ripple's doing and stuff being built on the XRPL and stuff being built everywhere. But we're finally, like, you guys know we do spaces with Darren all the time. One thing that's interesting to me is like any one of the announcements that we've seen almost on a daily basis now, with where we're at in 2024, would have driven an entire market cycle narrative in 2018 or 2019. I mean, the announcements that we are seeing almost daily would literally cause enough traction to basically like propel up the entire digital landscape for like 3 or 4 months. And it's like we're so accustomed to it, we've almost become desensitized to all the real world adoption that we're actually seeing. So yeah, that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Huge announcement coming out of Hedera today. Cool announcement coming out for the EVM chain with Persist and Evmos, which I'm probably mispronouncing, and Ripple and the grant aspects there. Be interesting to watch the XRPL Labs space. Hopefully, if I have time to do that. I think that's next week. It might be today. Let me look so I don't forget it and give you guys any sort of weird misinformation if I can find it. May 23rd. Yeah, that's next Thursday at 4 p.m. Suspense. I'm going to piss some people off. And you're going to want to love it. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next week, hoping for the Treasury interview. I'll also be interviewing Fabian Vogelsteller, literally the dude that invented ERC20 and smart contracts. Genfinity has a media relationship with Luxo, but that should be a really cool interview as well. Those guys are doing some really cool stuff at the infrastructure level for user experience. We did I guess I'm just sidebarring here the whole video. We did a space on DeFi and had like 5 or 6 different chains up there. And we had just done an interview with Fabian like 2 months ago. And he stuck around for that space where we did the cross-chain DeFi space. And always love to hear from like all these like really kind of technically minded people. And like 20 minutes or 25 minutes into that cross-chain DeFi space, or maybe it was like a security, like best practices in security or something. I asked Fabian his opinion on it, or Darren and I asked Fabian his opinion on it. And he's like, this is all really important, but nobody cares. Like at the end of the day for adoption, like we're still at the point, and I posted about this a couple of days ago. So how much innovation we've seen throughout crypto since 2009. You could even go back way before 2009 with David Shaw and eCash and all like kind of the fundamentals of cryptography and crypto, where you see all these different technological shifts, whether it's NFTs or, zero knowledge proofs and digital identity and now artificial intelligence converging and all this stuff. And since 2009, with all that innovation, how much innovation have you seen around literally like the most probably red tape aspect of getting into crypto in general, which is a single user having a single password that they have sole custody over, which is very important. But the amount of how difficult it is for people to onboard into this space and understand what they're doing and how it's not all tied into kind of a singular thing. It's still a massive problem in this space. You can look at the DREC initiative as far as recovery of assets, identity, whatever, that Ripple just joined with Hedera and XRPL Labs and Constellation and Casper and Algorand. But you can also fundamentally just step back and look at the user experience. How do we engage with crypto right now? What's the onboarding process like? Why do I have 40 different wallets? If I have 40 different wallets, do I have to have 40 different identities? Do I have to have 40 different passwords? All this stuff. And I think that Fabian, has some with what these guys are trying to build on Luxo, has some really interesting like fundamental changes as far as how this stuff should be working and what's actually going to like mass onboard people. So, without getting into the price speculation stuff, I mean, we see this stuff all the time in crypto. You see communities just get massively pissed off, and then you see the narrative shifts where if the price is up, the technology must be good. If the price is down, the technology must be shit. And most of that is total nonsense, obviously. But I think that we do need to kind of take note of what happens in some of these ecosystems. Like I said, even in the XRPL, when you think about why isn't XRP's price going up, then you have to ask yourself, what are people using XRP for? What's the demand for XRP besides buying and holding it because you think you're going to get rich? Ironically, if people were actually, if the narrative was, here's all the cool shit built out in the ecosystem, and people were actually using the stuff that was in the ecosystem, the demand for XRP would go up, and therefore the price would probably go up. It's what happens in every other ecosystem. It's what happens in Ethereum. It's what happens on Solana. It's what happens everywhere else. So really, if you want to change things, outside of the work that Ripple's doing, you have to fundamentally change the culture. That's about all I'll say on it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's a lot going on in this space. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And that being said, I will talk to you when I talk to you. Bye.